Hello and welcome everybody to the Level 30 Games Podcast. My name's Tom. I'm here with Joe and Drew and Dan, and we are ready to party with you today and talk about some of our favorite video game things. And today, one of those things is, well, it's music. We're going to talk a lot about music today. I just want to wish everyone that's listening today a happy Memorial Day, if you're listening on release day, and thank you to all who served. I want to congratulate early, at least, Dan and Drew. Our school year is almost finished. How's it feel?
Feels really good, although I do feel like Joe deserves an honorary congratulations because he works really hard too.
He does work really hard.
Albeit for the bad guys.
Like I mentioned, we're gonna dive into a lot of video game music today. We'll talk a little bit about a kind of a follow-up from our episode last month, as we were all predicting what Star Fox might be, and now we all know exactly what Star Fox is going to be. So we'll just jump into that for a split second, and then we'll continue with our Zelda of the month before our trivia today. I did want to actually start with an apology to Joe. There it is. Joe, I owe you an apology. For weeks, months on this podcast, we gave you a hard time for not spending $90 on a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. And now karma has come back to bite me in the ass, because I did spend $90 on a Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. And I went to use that $90 Nintendo Switch Pro Controller last night and turned on my system, only to find out that while the system booted and my TV went to the appropriate input, I had no display on my screen, forcing me to now stand up, undock the system, redock the system, and then go back to the couch to use my $90 Nintendo Switch Pro Controller 2, negating the intent of purchasing said controller. You win, Joe. Thank you. And I'm sorry.
Joe fan everywhere feels vindicated.
Vindicated Joe fan, and now I'm TV shopping. This is just an excuse to do that, I guess. I don't know. Before we press on to our headliner, I did want to just very quickly also check in with Dan, who has finally, after months of keeping Donkey Kong Bonanza unopened on his shelf, has started to play. And Dan, share your quick thoughts with the group.
It's really funny because I almost want you to cue up the music again. Because
you got it.
For a second, I thought I owed Joe an apology because when we were last talking about this, I made a comment about Donkey Kong and the series of Donkey Kong, and made some reference to the significance of the story, to which Joe wittily replied, "It's an ape in a tie. The story doesn't matter." And a half hour into the game, I had a lot of fun smashing the crap out of stuff with zero context to what story I was playing. But, and this is where you could record scratch and stop the music, at 45 minutes, I was like, this is kind of dumb. And like 4 hours later, I'm on level 13 and I'm legitimately losing interest because I'm just smashing stuff. And there's no significance to it at all. And so, long story short, it's fine. It's an absolutely average, fine game. Oh. I think if it wasn't Donkey Kong and your nostalgia of the character of Donkey Kong and some other like 3D character, it would be a really boring game.
Oh, man.
So,
right.
Joe, I thought I owed you an apology, and then I rescind my apology, and I doubled down on my statement that story matters.
I think it's just, I can understand Dan's frustration.
Oh, sure.
Like,
D3?
There are just some games that are, like, mindless, and the further on I got in Donkey Kong, the more I was just like, I want this to end, but I also want to know where it's going, so, like, I'm going to trudge on. But yeah, there were times where you were like, this is the same layer again, but instead of snow, I'm now on a tropical island. Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
they did a great job. And it's a kid's game, right? We're level 30 gamers for a reason.
I suppose so. All right. Well, fair enough. 75% of us recommend Donkey Kong Bonanza. Dan does not. That's okay. All right. Well, one thing that Donkey Kong is pretty well known for is music. And we thought we'd take what I guess arguably could be a rather slow month in ways of news and game releases That will change next month. We would talk about some of our favorite video game music growing up and what it's meant to us and the longevity of those tunes in our daily life, maybe even now. And so there's no rhyme or reason to this. We're trying to find the best. This is just kind of what struck a personal chord. And I figured maybe we'd open up with Drew here.
Am I just going?
Yeah, just walk us through your selection. Tell us a little bit about it.
That was like a weird segue, but okay. So as soon as Tom asked us all to pick a soundtrack or a game that was nostalgic in music, the first thing that came to mind to me was Mega Man, and there are a bunch of them, but in particular Mega Man X for Super Nintendo. Jumped to that 16-bit era, and then also had this banger of a title screen that Tom is playing right now, right? And you just boot it up, and the Mega Man X logo comes in multiple times. You press start, and you get into your level select. And you always have the choice of 8 different robot masters and who you want to pick. And some of the, 4 of the 8 just have, all of them have very good music. But of the 4 of 8, the most memorable ones are, we'll do Storm Eagle, which you said was Sky in your, right?
Yep.
And this is all thanks to Setsuo Yamamoto as the lead sound director or composer, right? All of these tracks get the adrenaline pumping, and you just want to mash buttons and slide through as quickly as you can. And what's funny is every song is only a minute and a half to 2 minutes, but even if it repeats, you're just so into the level design, and the music continues to add. So now we have Chill Penguin right here. And
yeah, I can see a penguin. This is definitely penguin music.
And so memorable because as early on in this game, as you're listening to this music, you get your boot upgrade and you can slide, just like when we went from Mega Man 2 to 3. 3 was the one you could slide first, right? Mega Man X adds it. And then we have things like Spark Mandrill and Flame Mammoth. One's the factory and the other one was, I forget what you labeled as. I know. I love all the names too, right? It was Kawaii, Boomerang. I forget what the chameleon's name was. But just all of the music in general makes me want to play more. And every time you play it, you go back to that nostalgic 80s rock music, Metallica, and I'm not even big into that, but it just makes me want to play more of it. And this is a game that I've played over and over again because A, the music's great, the gameplay is great. I just love platformers, and especially this. Yeah, this one's great too.
Yeah, there's some pretty good tunes here, and I mentioned in our pre-show, I was when I downloaded these, I was like, wait, I know all these songs, but I don't think I've ever played more than the first level of this game.
I want to give a shout out to this one guy on YouTube. His name's Smooth McGroove, and he does a cappella of every video game soundtrack you can ever find.
Oh, I've come across him before, yeah.
I just love when he does a Mega Man one or a Super Mario one, but for the most part, this album and soundtrack is the one that just resonates with me. As soon as you asked me for a soundtrack, I was humming the songs in my head without even looking them up on YouTube.
And you and Dan seemingly picked the same exact game.
D3?
Damn it.
Well, I picked Mega Man 2, I think, as being one of the best video game scores of all time. I sent you a clip if you want to throw it since we're in the Mega Man world. I don't know if you put it in, but
I didn't.
Well,
sorry.
It's another one of those where you might not remember what song goes to every villain or of the 8 people you're playing, but you can hum along to the melody. You're yeah, I know this tune. I've heard it before. It's great. Nice.
So Dan, since you pivoted, why don't you share with us what you landed on for a choice?
Yeah, so I could talk at infinitum for about Mario and Zelda, but I took a little bit of a left turn and picked the Pokemon series, specifically Red and Blue.
Smart choice. Strong choice.
Composed.
These songs are so good.
They're so good. And Junichi Masuda is the composer. And what's kind of interesting about him is he was the original composer, but he also became integral into the game design. And in I think it was Pokemon.
I didn't want to distract you.
It's okay. It did.
Underneath for a bit.
It did. It's so loud for me. I can't think.
Oh, so sorry.
It's okay. He became part of the game design for the rest of the Pokemon series, and then I think it was Pokemon X and Y where he actually took over as lead designer for the games.
Huh.
And he's been doing the music up through Arceus and game design for those games as well. And so he goes hand in hand with the series.
Yeah, and it's hard not to hear some of these songs and also immediately
want to play.
Transported back to being like 8 years old.
Yep.
Trying to get the Game Boy to show the screen because it wasn't backlit, and you're like in a car, like, oh, damn it. And just especially this stage in the game, right, Palatown, you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Just picking up random creatures, and this is cool.
So one of the things I really loved about the game, similar to Mega Man, is that each theme had a very distinct feel, and they were on about 90-second loops. So like the Battle Tune, for example, is a song that you're going to hear several times while you play the game.
Right, which also that sound is very just,
Yep.
It correlates with the transition to the battle screen.
So he also, Junichi Masuda also did all the sound effects, so those little like Pokemon growls and things, he did those as well. So a lot of like the getting Pokemon off the ground was this guy. And what was particularly interesting about what he had to do was he had to create music on a limited speaker because it was on a Game Boy. It wasn't on a TV speaker through like an entertainment system. So at the Game Boy speaker has 3-note output, which means at any given time there's only 3 notes happening. And so unlike other melodies or compositions where there might be like sort of a underscoring of things for the melody to float over, he had to do it all with things sort of like happening really quickly simultaneously. And so in the musical world, it's like it's counterpoint. It's like a lot of running lines that are like roller coasters running like this simultaneously to make your brain think you're hearing a lot of things happening at the same time. But he actually took a lot from like Tchaikovsky and classical composers that use like counterpoint pretty prolifically. And so he was like really intentional because of the constraints of the Game Boy that he had to use, and still managed to create some pretty amazing music that like I would say about Mario and Zelda, it's like the trading card game was blowing up. I can't remember. I didn't actually look it up. What came first, the show or the game? I think the show came significantly later. But you could argue it was like the music for this game was what got Pokemon hooked in people's brains and made it explode into what it is today. And without the music being so damn catchy and enjoyable, hours into the game, like when you circle back the first time and you're back in Pallet Town and you hear that tune again, it's sort of like in Lord of the Rings when you hear the Shire tune again at the end of it. You're like, oh my God, this is such a journey. And I really think that this guy being Masuda being involved in the composition of the game and the music is like very unique for Pokemon, and it is a pretty significant standalone franchise that is unique in its own world. I was reading a little bit about how when they were pitching it, like nobody thought it would take off. They didn't think Nintendo would bite. They didn't understand it at all. It came from like an idea of catching bugs.
Yep.
and like that type of, and they were very specific that they didn't want anybody to die, so that the Pokemon never actually like kill each other, they just faint. So it was like an odd kind of pitch, and I think he had to compose the music without being able to test it with the game first. So it kind of happened simultaneously as they were designing the game. He would design the music separately, and then they would just have to put it together. It's really interesting, but I think it definitely is worth entering the conversation for some of the most recognizable or like foundational video game music, maybe like third to, or maybe fourth if you like include Tetris in there, as like you hear it, you recognize it, and you're like, yeah, I know that this is like contained in the Pokemon world.
Yeah, you brought up so many cool things there, and even like just creatively, artistically, I think it's always worth pointing out. Like anytime you have to work with limitations, I feel like sometimes you can get your best work, right? Because it's not just the sky's the limit, do whatever you want. It's like, nope, here are 3 things, make a soundtrack. And you're like, oh shit, okay. Like you really have to put thought into what you're doing and be smart about it. And like you said, kind of playing with how they hear that is kind of like an illusionary audio trick, which is just really, really cool. And then to your point, it was funny, you were mentioning how like the battle music, which I freaking love. Just even the opening part, just like that is... I don't get tired of it, but I immediately thought back to, as a very old reference, to an old review that Joe did, I think, for Tales of Vesperia, which is an RPG where you encounter a lot of just random encounters. Here's the battle screen, and it does this thing where like the screen cracks and you hear glass shattering, and it does that every single time, and it's so obnoxious that by the end it's just like I can play on mute and I'm fine. But like if you sat there and like give me like a bird that looks at me funny, and all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, let's fucking fuck that bird up. Like, it's awesome, right? So there is something to be said about we are going to have to reuse these a bunch, so they really have to be like good and then memorable and yeah. So I think nailed it there.
I think just because I went deep on the Reddit in it, I found that Lavender Town is pretty regarded, pretty highly regarded as a diamond in the rough, which is interesting because it is like the first notably slow song in the score, and it is like a big shift. And obviously, Lavender Town's like the ghost town, so it fits.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it, and I think people like the counter people really are like, oh no, it's the best one. But the song that was really divisive was the bicycle song.
I don't have it ready to go, but why was it so divisive?
I don't know. I think it kind of just stands out as being. It seems a little like maybe childish or kiddie. It's so upbeat,
yeah,
right?
You're playing as a 10-year-old in a game. Like...
I know. That's why I thought it was funny that like people were like, "Yeah, Pallet Town, fuck yeah," and then it got to like bicycle song, and people were like 50-50 on it.
Right. So there's your Venn diagram between Pokemon and Queen, both having a song about a bicycle that is divisive.
There you go.
So it's good company. Good company to have. Yeah, if you want to explore a deeper dive, Drew and I did a memory card episode on Pokemon ZA, but then also Red and Blue, and there's a lot of history in that, which was kind of cool. But that was an excellent pick. I don't know why I was surprised to see you land on that, but I was like, you know what? I'm kind of glad he did, because this, like, as far as music goes, that was a smart choice. My selection, I probably should have segued when Dan was talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I didn't. I had chosen for my game, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. This came out in 1994, and was kind of eye-opening in terms of like video game music for me, mainly because, and I think the keyword that you all three had said in explaining yours, you used a similar word, and that word was loop. And Donkey Kong Country to me was one of the first examples of music that was really good, but two, felt just like each track is like a 3.5 minute long song, right? Which is interesting for a game that doesn't have time limits in them. Whereas Mario, and I think Mario music is fairly iconic, doesn't have the same staying power. Now, I just quickly, as a side question to you guys, if I had to ask you which Mario game has the most memorable music to you, what game comes to mind first? You can just shout it out. I'm curious.
I think 3.
I think 6.
Mario Brothers 3.
I think my favorite is Super Mario 2 Overworld theme. But I would say I'd probably say 64 has the most. Like, there's like one song from every Mario game that it would be hard to pick an entire game.
Yeah.
But I would say the most iconic music for me would probably be 64.
Okay, interesting. Because I was testing a theory that anything prior to 64 didn't have staying power. Because a lot of the music in those games, like, I don't remember a lot of the Super Mario World themes. But
Yoshi, sorry.
They reused a lot of stuff and they looped quite a bit. So it was less about like this is a memorable song and more like, okay, it's tonally fine for the level. But even like this track,
yeah,
right, pretty good, and it's on a pretty obvious loop. Like you'll hear the same repetition.
It's also
every,
in
like,
several
30
levels.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So like the swimming level in Super Mario World is just like a slower version of it, right? With a couple extra things. And so it didn't seem to have the same resonation that like Donkey Kong Country did, where you get this. I mean, like, arguably one of the most iconic music in any level, right? And arguably, right? Like, there are like 12-hour loops of that song on YouTube because people just chill to it, right?
Both of those, hearing them immediately made my blood level start to rise a little bit. It's like,
wait, which one?
From
the
anxiety?
but yeah, just
did you
like,
picture that little stupid fish like flobbering after you trying to catch you?
Like how slow you can have to move.
I don't know. It was like a stupid fish. It had big lips for some reason, and then like if you got too far away, it just like went to sleep and sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
No, I pictured dropping in, and the star was like right ahead of you, and you had to get the Yoshi and try to get it, but then you're like swimming into fish. I think it was like level World 5. I played that game at least 100 times.
And yet it was beat out by Mario 64.
I would say so.
Tom.
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
If you go a game later from Super Mario World with Yoshi's Island, like most of those songs are more memorable than I'm a bigger fan of this than I think you guys, but I feel like that has more staying power like Donkey Kong Country. Because when you go in like the caves with Yoshi and it's very chill music, it's once you hear it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it just gets drowned out by a crying baby every 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
But also, if you look about like release date, right? Like that game came out much later in the Super Nintendo's life cycle, so they probably had a better understanding of how to utilize music for their games, right? Super Mario World was a launch title, came out in 91, so they were probably looking at, orchestral, like music arrangement similar to that of the NES, but obviously with better processing and probably more channels to use. What I thought was interesting about the Donkey Kong Country stuff was David Wise was the composer. He's pretty well known in the video game music world. Got this job out of luck. He just started making music for a game that wasn't quite finished yet. And Miyamoto was the one who was like, hey, you know what? That song sounds pretty good. Just like go ahead and do it. They were originally going to give it the music to Koji Kondo, who did a lot of the Yoshi stuff and a lot of the Mario stuff. His stuff's all over the place in Nintendo's discography. But this English guy came about and was like, I'll give it a whirl. And so he had a lot of inspiration in his arrangements, a lot of swing stuff, right? So like your opening level stuff, very like drum heavy, slow build, but like it fits, right? This is like the lumbering swag of the character, right? Like it's kind of oafy and pounds the ground and can do somersaults and stuff. Right, and then you get like even the animals in the background. It sounds like bugs chirping and birds, and like there's a lot of cool stuff here to really set the tone. That was the first level, right, where each song was made specific to the stage, and it just managed to somehow amplify what was happening on screen, whether it was an intensity in the level, or sometimes it contrasted that too. You had some really chill music in some otherwise very difficult levels. And Joe and Dan, I'm going to need your maybe explanation on this one too. I downloaded what it was pulled from, but apparently the boss theme. So apparently this uses a 29/8 time signature. Does that have any significance to you guys as musicians?
Aside from, I mean, it's technically possible. I would have to like see it scored out.
Is it common? Is it difficult to compose
it
for?
Would be exceptionally rare, and also like totally impractical to want to have to compose in.
Okay, yeah. So it was inspired by a Nine Inch Nails song, which I thought was interesting. And if I downloaded it, I didn't get it on the board in time. But if you heard the song, you'd be like, oh, okay, I can hear how similar it is there. Even Aquatic Ambience, the underwater theme, was inspired by a Pink Floyd song, right? And he wrote this as a breakup song because he got out of a crazy relationship. This is the most chill song for being dumped, I guess. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. And then I'll throw in a little bit of Donkey Kong Country 2, if only because the inspiration behind it's a little wild. And once again, side by side, if you hear them, this is the title screen. All right, this was inspired by the national anthem for the Soviet Union. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh shit, this makes sense. Like, it absolutely does, right?
The Kremlins.
And then yeah, I was going to say, you throw in the whole Kremlins, and you're like, oh, wow. Fun fact, all of these songs have lyrics to them. They obviously didn't get recorded or were put into the game.
I'm a
but
monkey,
David
I like
Wise wrote
bananas,
lyrics
I like
for-
bananas, I'm a monkey.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I mean, just like being smart enough to pull from a lot of references and create. I mean, granted, I did look it up. Right, Super Mario World had 73 stages, 96 exits if you want to get technical. Donkey Kong Country had 40 levels, but that's like 40 original tracks on top of everything else, which is just a crazy sum of original music. And the fact that each level sounds distinct, like you can be warped to each world just based on the collection of music that comes with it. And I think it's so good. This is like, I listen to this frequently. I had Donkey Kong Country 2 playing while I was working out at the gym today. Like, I frequently have the first score on just because, like, not that it's upbeat and energy and that's what you want at the gym, but like there's something about its ability to get you to focus. Like, I think this was one of those games, and I was playing Donkey Kong Country 2 last night. That game is fucking hard, by the way. It had the most like, okay, I got to sit up and lean forward and really like focus on this. And the music just kind of mirrors that body language, I think, when you're playing. And so it really just kind of resonates. Who put a runner up in the thing?
I did.
I thought about it for a second.
Well, while you're talking about like all these songs that go hard, I just thought of like this Instagram reel from a few
about the
years
guys
ago.
that make the looking at the watch music from GoldenEye.
Yeah. It's like, how hard can we go? I got a banger for you.
Well, I think like a really interesting theme that is on all of these is like, and it came up in
all these games are 30 years old.
Well, no, but you mentioned it, and it came up in the Masuda interview that I read, which was that, you know, you take the Game Boy for example. Sound was like the leading thing. It wasn't graphic heavy. It wasn't story heavy. It couldn't have been. And so it was really the music that helped hook people into these early games. And now, and they were doing pretty prolific things with, I mean, the Mario music and the Zelda music, like harmonically and melodically, is not simple. It's very complex. And they were kind of masterful composers using really limited technology to create a vibe and an energy that for a good like decade really had to carry a lot of the heavy lifting of a video game, where now it's like very graphics heavy, and the soundtrack is maybe, because it's not looped, it's more ambient, it's more tonal. You're hearing
almost
less,
like a little generic, kind of like to a degree, right?
Yeah, I think it's meant to be more subtle. Like, you don't want to be paying attention to it in the same way where, like, when you're playing Donkey Kong, it's like, hey, I really need you to focus on the music because the graphics aren't great, or like the story isn't anything, or it's like the music's the thing that keeps you going. It's just interesting how as our technology has evolved, and now they can record orchestral scores for video games. It seems like there's so much more they can do, and they're doing so much simpler stuff. Because the graphics, the story, the voice acting, the motion capture, like all these things are filling our attention. Where like when you get to the original Mario, it is not graphically all that interesting. It was for the time, but you could start the ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba in any room in at least this country, and people would start singing the Mario tune with you. Like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got staying power for sure. So maybe the next time we do this, we'll set a little guideline for ourselves to, hey, pick a game that came out after 2010. We'll see how our choices narrow down, and we'll probably all pick like whatever Mario game is.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 8.
So, but thank you for sharing. Thank you everyone for listening that musical journey. We're gonna jump pretty quickly through the next segment. We just we talked a little bit about Star Fox last episode, and then we got this new round of, I guess, Nintendo Direct style, where they're saying, hey, we're going to talk about this in 6 minutes. Oh, okay. It's kind of surprise drop. Drew, you're shaking your head already. You don't want to talk about this one bit.
I do and I don't. I do and I don't.
Well, explain your anger and frustration.
It grinds my...
I hear the gears grinding.
Furries grind my gears. That's the first word that comes to the Star Fox Direct.
Like, that would just be like end of podcast right after he said that. Just like
I'm all for a redesign, right? Like Donkey Kong was redesigned, and I hated it at first, and now I accept it, even though the original design was much better. But like Star Fox was okay, and then we had the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And yeah, Mario looks different than the Mario we're used to, and Star Fox looked more cartoony to match like Glenn Powell's voice and like his animation. But then we're redesigning him another time for a video game, and like it's so anthropomorphic. Like they must have had some guy with a bunch of little dots on his head, and we're like, we're gonna design you after Slippy, and we're gonna design you after. What's the bunny? I can't even think of his name.
Peppy.
Pepper. Yeah, Peppy. And then Falco. And, like, they just look so awkward that it turns me off. Like, I'm all for the gameplay. I like the different styles of shooting and then tanking and going around this new map. And it's not a remaster or a remake, whatever it's called, or re something. But the, like, furry part of it is just, like, so off-putting.
Well, I thought you were going to go off on...
It whatever.
Be like a person.
What's going on. I'm probably going to throw $70 at him anyway.
I was and Drew has pre-ordered 2 copies. Dan, I feel like you're probably the hardest to sway, I think, initially when we talked about this, knowing that it's kind of more of the same.
I don't know. I'd be honest. The gameplay looked kind of fun. Yeah. Like, it does look... we haven't seen... the style of gameplay like this from Nintendo in a big way, and I think rebooting Star Fox is an interesting character that there's some nostalgia there, but it's not overdone. And I like the not being on rails. Like I think we've talked about like whatever Star Wars game that maybe it was
Rogue Squadron
and Force Unleashed, where you'd get into like the 3D flight, and so I could imagine it being fun. I don't know if I would drop $70 on it, but I probably wouldn't do that for most games. But I'm optimistic
good news,
about it.
It's $50. So,
well,
not that that's not nothing, but it's not.
Yeah, 70, I guess. So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm optimistic about it. Unless there's a stupid talking motorcycle, then I'm not. But
a stupid talking motorcycle,
like in Metroid, I was really pro Metroid, and then I saw that, and I hadn't wanted.
The motorcycle
doesn't talk.
It's not Knight Rider.
It's essentially there's a talking idiot robot and a motorcycle, and I combined them into one thing.
No, it's a talking idiot human.
Yeah.
It's It's more accurate.
And you see his idiot face when he takes off his mask.
But only that one time, and then never again.
They were listening to us, Dan. We did say Rogue Squadron like 2 months ago, and there are levels that are free-flowing, which I am excited for.
All right. Well, I want everyone to know that as of right now, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera accessory is on sale at Best Buy, and I expect all of you to get it so that we can become characters in our game chat session, because that's a wild addition. That's a very Nintendo thing to do. So, yeah.
I also feel like it's important to point out that the Level 30 crew is very pro furry. You live your life, do whatever you want. No judgment, no shame.
Drew, do you approve this statement?
It's being said on Drew's behalf.
We're gonna cut.
Oh wait,
Drew.
now this is a thumbs up thanks to Project Hail Mary.
Wait, hold on a second.
Also, way to use your thumbs on a podcast.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. Now I got to do this. Hold on.
Oh, I can buy.
We here at Level 30 Games want to apologize for Drew's statement that he made about furries.
No,
We love furries, and we're just here to say, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
Don't say it.
We're sorry.
Okay, South Park.
Sorry. We can't wait till next month.
Yeah,
I didn't even apologize. You apologized for me.
you're welcome.
I would like to apologize again for Drew doubling down on his non-apology. He is no longer affiliated with the podcast and is serving time in Guantanamo Bay.
Can you at least put like a side by side of what Fox and Falco look like now to when they looked like in the past?
No.
Yeah, those are horrifying. Those are horrifying.
Where's the chat?
I don't know
Like,
why
that
you're
is
offended by
nightmare
this.
fuel.
I think they're welcoming. I think
No,
some
they
people
are
like,
not.
Hey, man, I'm
not
gonna lick
even
your face.
close.
Yeah, I do. It's not have anything to do with what Drew said, but they are kind of terribly designed.
Oh, I kind of like them.
Like, I don't know why, but I want to punch Slippy right in the face. It just his stupid face just needs to be absolutely dented.
Joe, while you're scrounging the forums, can you find Fox McCloud's asshole?
No, what are you? Stop it!
He found pom-poms.
He found that very quickly. It's like he had that on his hard drive already. All right, well,
Wait,
I added
that's
an
the old
original
box art,
SNES
right?
box art. Yes, and that's what the new characters were supposedly modeled off of, was to be closer to that than, I guess, their real
They're
life
still
animal
kind of like
counterparts.
nightmare fuel. Like, even Peppy reminds me of, like, Yo Noid, and I was, like, horrified of Yo Noid.
Peppy kind of looks
Listen,
like
man.
Gizmo from Gremlins.
Jim Henson made adorable Muppets and then also nightmare fuel characters as well. It's just
Yeah, but
that's just
Jim
how it
Henson
goes.
is a god.
Okay, weird side, but I know you guys remember Lamb Chop.
This whole oh god.
Do you remember when Lamb Chop became big and was like human
Yeah.
sized? That still gives me nightmares.
I don't know this
Yeah,
or remember
it's
it.
fucking weird.
And I don't want to see it.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Oh, please
Oh,
don't.
boy.
Okay, well, Dan does that and adds more nightmare fuel to the fire. It's in this moment we will also quickly talk about our 7th favorite Zelda game. In order to recognize the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda franchise, because Nintendo seemingly won't, we at Level 30 Games have mathed out our list of the best Zelda games of all time, with a new title being discussed each and every month. So far, we had Skyward Sword at number 10, Majora's Mask at number 9, number 8 was Link's Awakening, and this month coming in at number 7. No, I went with a somber tone, less overworld stuff for this, and a little bit more of the uniqueness to the song. I thought was pretty memorable. Number 7 is Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess released in North America on November 19th in 2006, along with the Nintendo Wii system. It was a launch title. Came out a little bit less than a month later on the GameCube, as promised. Story takes place over 100 years after Ocarina and Majora's Mask, set in an alternate timeline from Wind Waker. So again, the Hyrule Historia timeline makes no sense. So this game was inspired visually from the Lord of the Rings films, which were wildly popular, and I can definitely see some parallels there. Originally started as Wind Waker 2, but Eiji Aonuma apparently was told to push for a more realistic look after Wind Waker didn't sell as well as they thought it would. Miyamoto, of course, had his thumbprint on it. He wanted to push new gameplay elements that couldn't be done before on a technical level, so he was a proponent of horseback combat, which I only remember from one actual section of the game. And the wolf component, while fitting in the dual world aspect, in line with other Zelda games, right? You had your Dark World in Link to the Past. Majora's Mask was a whole Dark World. But the wolf component was based on a dream that Aonuma had, where he dreamt he was a caged up wolf, and apparently this was so intense when he woke up he didn't know where he was or what he was supposed to be doing, and so that's why like the wolf enters these twilight stages where you have to collect drops, and it's probably the least fun part of the entire game. But that's why the wolf is in there, I guess. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Wolf Link? It in retrospect seems kind of weird. Even for Zelda.
It's fine.
I think what is strange about it is like it's not the first time you've transformed.
Yeah, I didn't question the bunny in A Link to the Past, but all of a sudden a wolf, I'm like, wait a minute.
Like a real creature, not a made up Deku or a Zora or something. You're like
That's true.
Like a real from real world. And it just that kind of felt a little out of place. And I remember the controls with like the shaking, and you could learn some new sword techniques were like not great. But I do distinctly remember that the horseback combat and the battle on the bridge, and like thinking like that was one of the first epic fights that every Zelda game didn't have before. Like where there was like a real time battle where like. Similar to like Breath of the Wild where you're fighting Ganondorf at the end. We're like, this is fucking epic. It's just cool while you're in it. I think it's a great game.
I forgot about the bridge. I was thinking about where you have to like escort the wagon and it keeps getting attacked, so you're just like waggling while riding next to Bobbleclins or whatever and trying to stop the wagon from getting destroyed or set on fire or something.
That was Majora's Mask. There might have been a wagon in Twilight Princess too.
Oh, there was a wagon.
I remember the map being like hella confusing and regions that you only went to one time. But I do. Now that you say that it's modeled after the Lord of the Rings, you can kind of see that in the art design a little bit.
Oh yeah, the character designs here are weird. Like Mallow, whoever that little baby that starts running that shop is fucking terrifying. He's just like a 2 foot tall grown man, but he's in the game a child. Like he's weird looking.
Twilight Princess was the one where you made that big cannon and you got shot to like Skyworld or whatever. I also think there was. Yeah. Was that the one where you finally you found the ruins of the Temple of Time, and you went back to it in like a really cool nostalgia nod? I think that was Skyward Sword and not. Twilight Princess and not Skyward Sword. I fucking loved that temple at the end when you're just in like a ruins and all of a sudden you pull the sword or whatever and you're back in the Temple of Time from Ocarina. You're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I think the dungeons in this game were really awesome. The soundtrack is great too. The overworld, upon like kind of redigging into it a little bit, I'm like, okay, so it's Ocarina of Time but bigger. And I don't know if they do anything better with that bigness. It's just I remember there being a lot of traversal that I didn't find inherently interesting, but it's still also broken up enough where like you go through a cave and then you have to like load into something, and I was like, okay. Like obviously in retrospect we're very spoiled because Breath of the Wild said go anywhere you want, like legitimately, and this was not quite that yet. But I did dig the darker tones. Like the song that I played when I introduced the segment was Midna's, I forget the name of it, but like that was the music that played in the scene where like she like is drained of power and is like on the cusp of death, and she's on your back as you're riding to Hyrule Castle like through the rain to bring her to Princess Zelda, who like sacrifices herself to restore Midna's power so that you can go and continue the rest of your journey. Like there were definitely darker moments to this game that I think were really, really cool. Drew, did any of this stand out to you in a meaningful way?
I think as much as we talked about at one point the Ocarina of Time, like Navi and the owl, like Midna was a welcomed partner in this game. Like the dark tones, right? And then Midna's character design was very like different,
awesome.
which I really enjoyed. And I especially liked the ending where like Midna turned into a real person. And
oh yeah, her glow up was I think my initial reaction was like, oh shit, she's hot. Like when did what like she went from this weird gremlin creature to oh no, all right, like kind of sexy.
Speaking of the ending, I think like Zant is really the main bad guy, right? And I think there's a really cool thing that happens at the ending where he takes you back. You like sort of fight in every dungeon's main boss at the end, like every boss room, which I thought was a really cool like way to circle back through your journey. I can't remember if Ganondorf was really a main force in it.
Yeah, so after Zant,
he fights you.
Yeah, Ganondorf's like, dude, that was my guy. And then there's a pretty epic battle, right? He turns into Ganon, like the pig version, right? The boar, and he starts like charging at you. And then it goes from like the castle to the field, and that's where Zelda like resurrects herself. And it's like, I'm holding him. Or she like has to use her arrow. So he does show up at the end.
I wonder if there is a ranking of the least replayed Zelda games, at least main series, main entries, and I would wager that Twilight Princess is probably on the bottom of that list.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to get into the specifics, it was remastered and re-released, which I'm sure spurred people to play it again. Like if they ported it to Switch 2, it's like one of the few Wii U games that didn't come over. Like that would be my excuse to play it.
Yeah,
because this was also one of the first Zelda games that like, okay, it took like 35, 40 hours to beat. Yeah. Which was a really long time. Like it eclipsed that. Okay, I'm not going to replay this. Like Link to the Past, I can play in a day and be like finish it. This is clearly requires some investment. I think that's part of that reason. Drew, what did you want to chime in with?
So I have a question for all of you.
Yes,
because this game came out twice in a week on 2 different systems, and I want to know what system you bought it for.
Well, I bought it for the Wii, and I think there's a note here, and it's worth noting. It's that's when the world realized that Link was left-handed.
I don't like when I love Nintendo doing wild things with like proprietary motion controls and different things, but when I'm forced upon it originally, I didn't want it. So that's why I went with the old school route.
Yeah, if this was like a Twilight game that came out at the end of like Skyward Sword came out towards the end of the Wii's life cycle, and I think the wiggle stuff then was not as much fun. But I think because it was a launch title and you're kind of like, hey, I'm going to wiggle and play tennis, but I can also wiggle and play Zelda. Like it was probably novel enough that it wasn't that bad. It also includes one of my favorite items in the game that was never in any other Zelda game, and that was the spinner, the little disc you can like ride on. And there was that one boss where you're fighting like a giant skull head or something going around the room, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. And then it disappeared. It was kind of like a giant Beyblade, yeah. All right, well, if they ever do re-release or port that Wii U game to Switch or Switch 2, I'll be there. That's fine.
Is that
because then I can justify playing it again.
How many Zeldas are we missing from Switch?
That would be the one.
That would be one. Wind Waker from GameCube's on NSO. Minish Cap's on NSO. Oh, the DS
Obviously,
ones.
we're missing the DS's ones.
Yeah.
Spirit Tracks
isn't there, and Phantom Hourglass is it?
Phantom Hourglass, yeah. So that's fine. We don't need to have all of them because who wants to play Spirit Tracks again? Nobody. That's why it didn't make our list.
Spoiler alert.
All right. On that note, as we stay tuned for our next Zelda game next month, we'll shift over to our trivia today, which is mighty exciting. Because, nope, soundboard wasn't up. Good for me. Since we had a musically themed topic today, every question is going to be a music question. Now, let me explain the rules of the game to these three gentlemen here. There are a total of 9 questions in 3 categories ranked by difficulty. So 3 questions are easy, 3 questions are labeled medium, and 3 questions I would say are hard. The general theme is inspired by the calendar. Memorial Day is considered the unofficial start of summer, and so today's questions will be centered around one of summer's greatest pastimes, swimming. All of the audio
video
clues...
games. Sitting inside in a dark room.
All of the audio clues will be based around games that feature water or water levels.
Oh my God.
So, without further ado, would you guys like to start in the easy, medium, or hard category?
Is there a daily double?
There's not a daily double.
So
You know what? Yes, I will on the spot
I was going to say, can we hunt for it?
Okay.
put a daily double. No, don't hunt for it. Once you pick a category, you're going to stay in that category. So until all files have been played.
I'm fine going starting easy.
Starting easy.
Starting easy. All right. Let me just change. I'm going to turn off my screen here because I don't have a good poker face. And let's turn our output on there. Okay, good. All right. So look, it's very simple. I'm going to play a song. For this category, you need to tell me the name of the game that this song comes from.
Oh my God.
Specific title, please. Clue or song number 1. Drew, are you keeping score?
Sure.
You normally do. That's why I'm asking. All right. I would like for you guys to get 7 of the 9 correct.
Oof.
I think you can do it. It's going to be tight. Easy category. Name the game. Song number 1.
That's Donkey Kong 2. 100%. It's World 1.
Donkey Kong Country 2 is correct. Very good. 1 for 1. Song number 2. Name that game.
Ooh, yes.
I love this song.
I know you do.
Okay, everyone's dancing. No one's naming.
I know.
Yeah, it's a Mario game.
It's Sunshine. It's Delfino Plaza.
Mario Sunshine is correct. 2 for 2.
You know, weirdly, more than wanting to play Sunshine, that makes me want to play Super Smash.
Yes. Question or song 3 in the easy category. Name that game.
This is the shop in Zelda, but I don't know which Zelda. It's the potion shop.
Well, think of the theme of the questions.
Water.
Oh, it's the water temple.
It's
Yeah,
Ocarina of Time, right?
Ocarina of Time is correct. That is the water temple theme.
Oh, it's not the
All
potion
right, we
shop.
all contributed.
Oh, right.
Really? I feel like Dan did all the heavy lifting.
No.
We're going medium. All right. Same theme. All right. However, this time I want you to name the level.
Ugh.
Here is your first one.
Oh.
Dire Dire Docks? Is that? Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Why did no one pick Mario 64?
So that's what when we were talking about it earlier. This song came to mind as being like so quintessential for that game.
All right, since I guess Dan's the one going to speak, Dire Docks is correct.
They-
However, it is also your daily double.
Woohoo!
Dire
With 2 points?
Docks is the name of the song.
Oh.
Dire Docks is also the name of the second water level in which that is used. The first one is actually more well-known because it takes place earlier in the game. What is the name of the other water level that utilizes
Yeah, I
the
was
song
gonna say-
Dire Docks?
Is Bowser's Submarine. I can't remember what that one's called though.
I'm pretty sure this is also the one with the like the underwater snake thing that tries to eat you.
Yeah, it's an eel.
Yeah.
No, the eel's in the. Yeah, the eel's in maybe both of them. It's the dock. Is Bowser's Ducks.
I'm just gonna play in the background because it's so good.
I don't remember what the title of that level is though. It's the
Drew or Joe?
the second Bowser battle.
Which is downstairs?
It's in the basement. You go in, and at first you have to go to that other, like you swim under the tunnel, and there's like the sub there, and then you have to get the star. The sub leaves, and then it becomes a level, and then you can get to Bowser's battle.
I don't know the name of it.
All right, well, we're going to press on because this was the improv daily double question. The name of that level is called Jolly Roger Bay.
That's it.
Oh,
Jolly Roger Bay is
Yep.
the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense with the ship.
Yep. All right.
And the sand.
Question or song number 2. Song
Derp.
number 2 on medium. Here you go.
So wait, how many points do we have?
4.
You have 4. You're 4 for 4 right now. So you only need 3 more, but they're getting tougher. All right. Song number 2 on medium. Name the level.
Oh my god. No. Oh,
Drew
did we
the
talk
Constant.
about this recently? Is it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the dam level? Wait.
That is correct.
Whoa.
Oh yes.
Very
yes.
well done.
Yes.
One of the worst water levels ever made. All right, we're batting.
When did we just talk
100%.
about that?
I don't remember, but it was recently. All right, last song in the medium. Name that level.
See, this is not my game, but I think I know it.
Well, take a guess. Everyone else is jamming.
I don't know it.
It sounds like a Sonic game, but I'm not a Sonic fan.
Well, that might be true, but I need the level.
Yeah, it does sound like Sonic.
Well, I only know Green Zone, and then after that, I
There's the
normally
city-
quit Sonics.
The city one.
But remember, it's water themed.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name of the level.
Well, it looks like we got our first strike on the board. That is from a Sonic game. It is from the Labyrinth Zone.
Yeah, I don't know the zones. I
Other than
actually
Green Hill
kind
Zone, I don't know.
of despise Sonic games.
Oh, I don't like them either. Yeah, that's a whole separate thing that we'll save for another day. All right, well, you guys saved the last category to be the hardest.
And we need 2 of the
And
3.
we need 2 of the 3.
Oof.
It's going to get tough. This is going to sound easy on the surface, but it's not. I need you to name the series in which the song comes from. Here's your first one.
Oh,
Dan's saying no.
Don't know it.
It's on the tip of Drew's tongue.
is... What do you mean by series? Like the game
Franchise.
series?
Yeah, just like the franchise it comes from.
I don't know if it had a water level, though.
Well, no one's got a shot. You might as well take one.
Is anyone okay
Say-
with me saying Battletoads?
Yes.
Battletoads is
That's wrong.
incorrect.
Yeah, fuck.
This
Sorry.
came from the series Earthworm Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can hear it.
I don't remember what the water level was called. Yeah, there's definitely some Earthworm Jim to it.
I was close with anthropomorphic frogs instead of a worm.
Yeah, and yet you have a problem with Slippy. Don't get it. All right. Song number 2 in hard. We're going to need the last 2 in order to get there. Here we go.
Is this Super Mario Tennis?
Water level? Do they have a water court?
No. What about F-Zero? I think it's actually F-Zero.
Does F-Zero have a water level?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually does have like an Atlantis mute city or whatever.
But based on his
play it one more
question,
time?
I would assume it's not that.
I had something else. Oh, that kind of reminded me of like Bomberman 64, but I doubt it.
Play it again.
F-Zero. No, this does sound like an F-Zero.
That part doesn't, though.
Lock something in, guys.
I could hear either. I trust Joe's judgment.
It is Wave Race 64. Yes. I'll tell you what. You get the next one. I'll give you 2 points for it. How about that? Here it is. Final question. Name the series.
I wasn't a Wave Race fan.
Most effects places all around.
Can we guess this platform again?
Ooh. It's a multi-platform game.
Oh.
I don't have a guess. So, Drew, if you have a guess, go for it.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Bubble Bobble.
Visually, you're not too far off. That is from the game Shovel Knight.
I didn't play it.
I've played it a lot, but
I
Yeah.
think the only hope would have been Drew on that last one. Nope. Oh, we can hear it. Okay. That one's good. Yeah, wonderful. All right. Well, that song means that it's time for the end of our episode today. Thank you for watching and listening, especially. Lots of music going on. And if it gets flagged, it'll be a very quiet episode because, I didn't pay for any of that stuff. Thank you 3 for joining and recording on such a late evening. We hope you guys enjoyed the long holiday weekend and enjoy the end of your school years. We'll visit you all and everyone listening at home the end of June. We'll see you next month. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
bye.